Fear and doubt are powerful emotions that can shake a person's sense of stability, confidence, and faith. When these feelings appear suddenly and intensely, especially in areas where a person once felt secure, it may be more than just ordinary stress or anxiety. It may be a sign of a deeper spiritual attack, one designed to create uncertainty and weaken resolve. Fear, in its many forms, can manifest as a sudden dread of the unknown, an overwhelming worry about the future, or even an unexplained sense of panic that has no clear cause. It often starts subtly, creeping in through small concerns that grow into larger worries, making a person question their own abilities, purpose, or even their faith. Doubt is often closely linked to fear, working alongside it to undermine confidence and create hesitation. When doubt enters the mind, it leads to second-guessing, questioning past decisions, and feeling uncertain about even the most obvious truths. It can cause a person to hesitate in taking action, making them feel stuck and unable to move forward. This can be particularly damaging in moments where clarity and certainty are needed the most. Doubt makes a person question their worth, their purpose, and sometimes even their relationship with the divine. It causes them to wonder if they are on the right path, whether they are making the right choices, and whether they are truly capable of overcoming challenges. It plants the idea that failure is inevitable, leading to a cycle of hesitation and insecurity. A spiritual attack often amplifies these feelings of fear and doubt, making them feel overwhelming and insurmountable. It creates a sense of distance, making a person feel disconnected from their faith, their loved ones, and their inner strength. It can lead to moments of emotional exhaustion, where even the smallest decisions feel like impossible burdens. Fear may show up in ways that seem irrational, yet deeply impactful, such as a sudden fear of failure in areas where success was once evident, or a deep sense of worry about situations that were previously manageable. Doubt may cause a person to feel unworthy or incapable, convincing them that they are not good enough, or that they do not deserve happiness or peace. These emotions do not come out of nowhere. They are often triggered by circumstances, external influences, or even internal struggles that make a person vulnerable to attack. A difficult situation, a stressful challenge, or a major life transition can create an opening for fear and doubt to take hold. The mind starts focusing on worst-case scenarios, creating an endless loop of worry that takes away peace of mind. The more a person dwells on these fears, the stronger they become, creating a cycle that can be difficult to break. The attack is not just about making a person feel scared or uncertain. It is about keeping them from moving forward, from growing, and from believing in themselves. It is about creating enough hesitation and insecurity that they stop pursuing their goals, stop trusting in their abilities, and stop believing in the possibility of a better future. One of the most dangerous aspects of fear and doubt is that they can feel completely real even when there is no logical reason for them. They can make a person believe that they are alone in their struggles, that they have no support, and that they are powerless to change their situation. They distort reality, making even the strongest person feel weak and even the most faithful person feel lost. Over time, if these emotions are not addressed, they can lead to deeper feelings of hopelessness, frustration, and even despair. They can cause a person to withdraw, to stop seeking help, and to give in to the belief that they are destined to fail. They can make small problems seem like massive obstacles, turning minor setbacks into overwhelming defeats. Fear and doubt thrive in isolation, growing stronger when a person feels disconnected from sources of strength and encouragement. They create a false narrative, one that convinces a person that they are not capable of overcoming their struggles. Temptation is one of the most effective ways to weaken a person's spiritual, mental, and emotional resilience. It often starts subtly, appearing as a small desire or an innocent thought, but over time it grows stronger, becoming harder to resist. Intense temptations can take many forms, whether through unhealthy habits, negative behaviors, or distractions that pull a person away from their purpose. It may come as a sudden urge to engage in actions that were once avoided, or a constant internal battle that makes it difficult to stay focused on what truly matters. These temptations often target areas of personal weakness, preying on unresolved struggles, past mistakes, or unhealed wounds. They can make a person feel powerless, as if the pull toward them is too strong to fight, leading to a cycle of guilt, frustration, and self-doubt. Negative thoughts often accompany temptation, reinforcing its power by making a person believe that resisting is impossible. These thoughts may whisper that giving in is easier, that there is no harm in small compromises, or that they are not strong enough to fight back. Over time, these thoughts begin to shape a person's mindset, influencing how they see themselves and their ability to overcome challenges. They create a sense of weakness, convincing a person that they are destined to fail, that they will always struggle, and that there is no point in trying to change. The more these thoughts take root, the harder it becomes to recognize them as lies, making them feel like undeniable truths. They may come in the form of self-criticism, regret, or even comparison to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy and discouragement. A spiritual attack often intensifies these temptations and negative thoughts, making them feel impossible to escape. It creates an overwhelming sense of guilt, making a person feel as though they are too far gone to find their way back. It distorts their perception, making unhealthy choices seem more appealing and convincing them that what once felt wrong is now acceptable. This confusion weakens their resolve, making them more likely to give in rather than resist. The attack does not just target the mind, it also affects emotions, making a person feel restless, anxious, or constantly dissatisfied. It causes an internal struggle, where part of them wants to fight back, while another part feels drawn toward giving in. This battle can be exhausting, leaving them drained and uncertain about their ability to stand firm. One of the most dangerous aspects of temptation is that it often disguises itself as something desirable, promising relief, pleasure, or fulfillment. It may present itself as a way to escape stress, cope with pain, or fill an emotional void. However, once a person gives in, the satisfaction is temporary, and the consequences can be lasting. It often leads to regret, self-blame, and a feeling of being trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to break. The more a person gives in, the more they begin to believe that change is out of reach, making it easier to justify continued compromise. Negative thoughts reinforce this belief, whispering that they are too weak, too flawed, or too far gone to overcome their struggles. This creates a sense of hopelessness, making it seem as though there is no way forward. The mind becomes a battlefield where every thought either strengthens or weakens a person's ability to resist. When negative thoughts take over, they drain energy, making it difficult to focus on anything positive. They create unnecessary fear, making a person hesitant to take steps toward growth and healing. They magnify failures while minimizing successes, making it seem as though no progress is being made. Over time, this can lead to deep discouragement, where a person no longer sees the point in fighting back. They may begin to withdraw from sources of strength, avoiding people, places, or activities that once provided encouragement. They may feel disconnected from their faith, questioning whether they are even capable of finding their way back. Exhaustion is more than just physical tiredness. It is a deep, draining fatigue that affects the mind, body, and spirit. It can come suddenly or build up over time, making even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. This kind of exhaustion does not go away with rest, as it is not just caused by a lack of sleep, but by a deeper struggle that drains energy, motivation, and joy. It creates a sense of heaviness, making everything feel like an impossible burden, whether it is work, relationships, responsibilities, or even personal goals. The weight of this exhaustion makes it difficult to focus, to find joy in things that once brought happiness, or to push forward when challenges arise. It can make a person feel stuck, unable to move forward or break free from the cycle of fatigue that keeps them from experiencing a sense of purpose. Lack of motivation often follows exhaustion, making it harder to accomplish even the most basic daily tasks. A person who once had clear goals, ambitions, and a strong sense of direction may suddenly find themselves uninterested in things that once mattered to them. This loss of motivation can affect every area of life, from work to relationships, from personal growth to spiritual well-being. It can create a feeling of emptiness, as if nothing truly matters anymore, making it difficult to find meaning in everyday life. Even when there is a desire to push forward, the energy to do so seems out of reach. The mind may be filled with thoughts of self-doubt, questioning whether anything will ever change, whether efforts will ever be enough, or whether there is even a point in trying. These thoughts become louder over time, reinforcing the idea that there is no reason to keep going, no reason to fight against the exhaustion that has taken over. A spiritual attack often intensifies exhaustion and lack of motivation, making them feel even more overwhelming. It creates a sense of isolation, making a person feel as though they are alone in their struggles, that no one understands what they are going through, and that there is no escape from the weariness they feel. It drains not only physical energy, but also emotional and spiritual strength, making it difficult to stay connected to faith, hope, or a sense of purpose. It creates distractions, filling the mind with worries, fears, and unnecessary stress that make it even harder to focus on what truly matters. This kind of attack does not always happen suddenly. Sometimes it builds up over time, slowly weakening a person's resolve until they no longer have the strength to push forward. The exhaustion deepens, the lack of motivation grows stronger, and the feeling of hopelessness becomes more difficult to shake. When exhaustion takes over, it affects every part of life, making it difficult to be present, to engage in meaningful conversations, or to find the energy to pursue dreams and goals. It can create tension in relationships, as it becomes harder to express emotions, to offer support, or to feel connected to loved ones. It can lead to frustration, where even small challenges feel impossible to handle. It can cause a person to withdraw, to avoid responsibilities, or to lose interest in things that once brought fulfillment. Over time, this can lead to a deep sense of disconnection, where nothing seems to matter anymore, and where the idea of finding joy or purpose feels distant. This kind of exhaustion can also weaken spiritual strength, making it harder to pray, to find peace, or to feel connected to something greater than the struggles at hand. It can create a sense of distance from faith, where spiritual practices that once brought comfort now feel like a burden. It can make a person question their path, their purpose, and whether they will ever regain the strength they once had. The longer this exhaustion lasts, the harder it becomes to fight against it, making it feel as though the weight will never be lifted. Relationships are one of the most important aspects of life, providing support, love, and companionship, but they can also become a primary target in a spiritual attack. When relationships begin to suffer without a clear reason, when misunderstandings become frequent, and when conflict arises unexpectedly, it may not just be a coincidence. These struggles can appear in any relationship. between friends, family members, spouses, or even colleagues, and they often create a sense of distance, tension, or emotional exhaustion. Conversations that were once effortless become strained, trust begins to weaken, and the feeling of closeness starts to fade. A person may begin to feel disconnected, unheard, or even unwanted, leading to frustration and confusion about what has changed. These struggles often begin with small disagreements, misunderstandings, or unspoken feelings, but over time, they can grow into deeper conflicts. A simple miscommunication can turn into an argument, and an argument can lead to resentment. Suddenly, the connection that once felt strong begins to weaken, and both sides may start to withdraw. This can happen without either person fully understanding why things feel different. But the emotional distance continues to grow. It may feel as though no matter what is said or done, things are not improving, and the frustration of trying to fix the relationship only makes it more difficult. There may be moments of doubt where one begins to question whether the relationship is even worth saving, whether the other person truly cares, or whether it is better to just let go. A spiritual attack targeting relationships often works by planting thoughts of insecurity, doubt, and mistrust. It creates situations where small issues seem bigger than they really are, where emotions are heightened, and where negative thoughts about the other person become more frequent. It makes it harder to give the benefit of the doubt, leading to assumptions that may not be true. It encourages isolation, convincing a person that no one understands them, that they are better off handling things alone, or that certain relationships are no longer worth the effort. Over time, this can cause friendships to break apart, family connections to weaken, or marriages to suffer under the weight of unresolved tension. One of the most dangerous aspects of sudden struggles in relationships is the way they create emotional exhaustion. Constant disagreements, feelings of being misunderstood, or a lack of peace in important relationships can drain energy, making it difficult to focus on anything else. It can lead to overthinking, replaying conversations, or feeling stuck in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. It may feel as though no matter how much effort is put into repairing the relationship, nothing seems to work. This exhaustion can lead to withdrawal, where a person begins to avoid communication, ignore problems, or shut down emotionally. They may feel as though they have no more energy to invest in the relationship, leading to further disconnection. In some cases, these struggles can also create a sense of loneliness, even when surrounded by others. A person may feel distant from people they were once close to, questioning whether those relationships were ever truly strong. This sense of loneliness can make it easier for negative thoughts to take over, convincing a person that they are unworthy of love, that they are always misunderstood, or that they will never find lasting, meaningful connection. It can lead to feelings of rejection, where every small action or word is interpreted as a sign that others do not care. These emotions can be overwhelming, making it difficult to see the situation clearly, or to believe that things can improve. The longer these struggles continue, the harder it becomes to repair the damage. Distance grows, communication breaks down, and the sense of connection that once felt natural becomes strained. The frustration of feeling unheard or unappreciated may turn into bitterness, creating walls that make it even harder to restore trust and understanding. This can have lasting effects, not only on the relationship itself, but also on a person's overall emotional and spiritual well-being. The feeling of brokenness in relationships can spread into other areas of life, creating a general sense of frustration, sadness, or even hopelessness. Hopelessness and depression are some of the most powerful tools used in a spiritual attack, making a person feel lost, unworthy, and unable to see a way forward. This feeling does not always come suddenly. Sometimes it builds over time, creeping in slowly until it becomes overwhelming. It may begin with small disappointments, unmet expectations, or moments of sadness that seem manageable at first. But over time, these feelings grow stronger, making it difficult to find joy, motivation, or purpose. A person may begin to feel as though nothing will ever change, that their efforts are meaningless, or that no matter what they do, things will continue to go wrong. This sense of hopelessness can affect every area of life, making it hard to stay engaged in relationships, work, or even personal interests. It drains energy, making even the smallest tasks feel impossible. And it creates a sense of emotional and spiritual emptiness that is difficult to escape. Negative thoughts become louder, convincing a person that they are not enough, that they will always struggle, or that they are unworthy of happiness. These thoughts often distort reality, making failures seem permanent, making problems feel bigger than they actually are, and making it seem as though there is no reason to keep trying. A person may begin to lose confidence in themselves, questioning their abilities, their purpose, and their worth. They may start withdrawing from others, feeling as though no one truly understands them, or that they are a burden to those around them. Isolation becomes tempting, not because they do not want help, but because they begin to believe that help will not change anything. This emotional distance can make it even harder to break free from the cycle of hopelessness, as it reinforces the idea that they are alone in their struggles. A spiritual attack can intensify these feelings, creating a sense of heaviness that makes every day feel like a battle. It can create obstacles that seem impossible to overcome, filling the mind with fear, doubt, and exhaustion. It makes it difficult to find peace, replacing moments of clarity with confusion and uncertainty. This attack does not just affect emotions, it also affects physical energy, making a person feel constantly drained, unable to focus, or lacking the strength to do things they once enjoyed. Sleep may become disrupted, either through restlessness, nightmares, or an overwhelming desire to sleep all the time in order to escape reality. Even when surrounded by people, there is a deep sense of loneliness that does not go away, a feeling of being disconnected from the world around them. When hopelessness takes over, it becomes harder to see any reason for hope. A person may stop setting goals, believing that nothing they do will make a difference. They may lose interest in things that once brought joy, feeling as though happiness is something meant for others but not for them. Everything begins to feel dull, as if life has lost its color, and even moments that should bring happiness are overshadowed by a deep, unshakable sadness. This emotional weight can make it difficult to pray, to seek support, or to believe that things will ever improve. It creates a sense of numbness, where even pain starts to feel familiar, and the idea of change seems distant and unreachable. The longer these feelings last, the more they begin to shape the way a person sees themselves and the world around them. They start believing that they are destined to struggle, that they will never experience true happiness, or that they are somehow broken beyond repair. This mindset can lead to destructive behaviors, whether through self-sabotage, unhealthy coping mechanisms, or a complete withdrawal from life. The exhaustion of constantly feeling hopeless makes it difficult to fight back, as every attempt to improve feels like it ends in failure. The weight of depression convinces a person that they are trapped in an endless cycle with no way out, no support, and no hope for a better future. Overcoming a spiritual attack requires awareness, strength, and a willingness to fight back against the forces that seek to bring confusion, fear, and despair. These attacks are designed to weaken the mind, drain the spirit, and create distance from faith, purpose, and hope. But they do not have to be permanent. The first step in overcoming a spiritual attack is recognizing that it is happening. When negative thoughts become overwhelming, when exhaustion takes over, when relationships start to break down, and when hopelessness feels unavoidable, it is important to understand that these are not just random struggles, but intentional tactics meant to discourage and weaken. Identifying the attack allows a person to respond with purpose, refusing to accept defeat and instead choosing to fight back with faith, resilience, and determination. One of the most powerful ways to overcome a spiritual attack is by strengthening the mind and spirit through prayer, meditation, or reflection. When the mind is filled with doubts, fears, and lies, it becomes difficult to see the truth, but seeking spiritual strength helps to replace negativity with clarity and peace. Speaking words of truth, whether through affirmations, scripture, or personal reflections, helps to counteract the falsehoods that try to take hold. Surrounding oneself with positivity, whether through uplifting music, books, or conversations, helps to shift focus away from the darkness that tries to consume. Taking time to pause, to breathe, and to reconnect with a higher purpose helps to restore the sense of direction that may have been lost. Seeking support is another crucial step in overcoming a spiritual attack. Isolation is one of the greatest weapons used in these attacks, making a person feel as though they are alone in their struggles. But the truth is that no one has to face these battles alone. Reaching out to trusted friends, family members, or mentors can provide encouragement, guidance, and reassurance. Talking about struggles helps to break the power of silence that often makes an attack feel even heavier. Being around people who uplift, encourage, and support can make a significant difference in breaking free from the weight of negativity. Sometimes simply hearing a different perspective or receiving a reminder that things will get better is enough to shift the mindset and restore a sense of hope. Taking care of the body is just as important as taking care of the mind and spirit. Spiritual attacks do not just affect emotions, they also affect physical energy, making it important to focus on rest, nutrition, and movement. When the body is weak, the mind becomes more vulnerable, making it easier for exhaustion, anxiety, and hopelessness to take over. Eating well, staying active, and getting enough rest help to restore energy, improve mood, and create a sense of balance. Small actions, such as going for a walk, spending time in nature, or practicing deep breathing, can help to clear the mind and provide a sense of renewal. Physical health plays a major role in emotional and spiritual strength, making it essential to prioritize self-care. Replacing fear with faith is another key way to fight back against a spiritual attack. Fear thrives in uncertainty, making everything seem worse than it actually is. But faith brings reassurance, reminding that struggles are temporary and that victory is possible. Holding on to hope, even when things feel difficult, allows for strength to grow instead of fear. Focusing on past victories, on moments of resilience, and on the truth that challenges do not last forever helps to weaken the power of fear. Refusing to let emotions dictate reality, choosing to believe in a greater purpose, and trusting that there is a way forward create a powerful shield against negativity. Staying consistent in the fight against a spiritual attack is necessary because these battles do not always end quickly. There will be moments of weakness, moments of doubt, and moments of frustration, but persistence is key. Choosing to get up every day and keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult, builds inner strength. Staying committed to positive habits, refusing to dwell on negative thoughts, and continuously seeking growth create a strong foundation that makes future attacks easier to overcome. Every small step toward healing, clarity, and peace matters, and with time, the attack will lose its power, leaving behind a renewed sense of strength and purpose.